This a survival story. This a 2B story. This is my story. 2B's TV story. Hey, wow, wow. 2B's TV. We're keeping it loud. Bang it.
How has the pandemic personally affected you?
I think it all comes back around to performing because it affects us financial wise, you know what I mean? If you really think about it, we can't get to go out there and perform and do what we do to put food and to keep food on the table, you know what I mean? Apart from that, personally, normally my mom would spend probably 3/4 of the year by me. And because of the pandemic, she hasn't been able to travel to the States from Jamaica for all 2020. So I haven't seen my mom in almost a year and 4 months, which is unheard of. You know what I mean? And my mom is very close. And that's one of the main things personally. Right. Main things personally. It's just one of them things, you know what I mean? But I guess it kind of put things in perspective. You know what I mean? It kind of let you really appreciate more. Even just by my mom being here frying dumpling, doing what all those are the things that we love, you know what I mean? And she's not here, you kind of realize how much you miss that, or how much you miss just coming downstairs and seeing her just chilling with the kids, you know what I mean? So that's just the little things, you know what I mean? So it kind of let us appreciate things more.
Yeah, same here, but I'm sure the WhatsApp is keeping the connection as strong as possible.
Yeah, the WhatsApps, the video calls, you know what I mean? So, and you know, we kind of tell each other more now.
Yeah,
we kind of tell each other more. We love each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of let you have to really appreciate every day, every minute, every second.
Yeah.
In my view, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're not on the go all the time. You actually have to sit down and just chill.
It slowed us down. It kind of hit the reset button for all of us. Me personally, I've never spent 2 months at home. Never ever spent 2 months at home. And I'm telling you, I can go back to like probably 1998. Or just came out of high school and started getting into the business. I've never spent 2 months at home. And it kind of let you kind of appreciate the surrounding a little bit more and enjoy your space because you have nothing else to do but try to enjoy that space so you don't go crazy. So you spend a lot of time in the backyard, whether it's music, cut some coconut, enjoy the pool a little bit more, enjoy the jacuzzi. Just normal family vibe. It kind of bring the family a little bit closer. The only missing piece was my mom couldn't get to travel here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I know you released a song called Lockdown, expressing your grievances, you know, telling everyone you've almost been locked up. Yes, you was frustrated, locked up for almost 2 years. But I raised an eyebrow when you brought up the edited election and said that dancehall might have influenced that. Do you care to clarify the remarks that you made on the song?
You're talking about the remarks that saying election keep out them says pandemic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically the government of Jamaica, they locked down the whole country, the whole dancehall industry, the entertainment industry. But yet still, during the Christmas holidays of all time, during the Christmas holidays in the peak of the pandemic, they held the election. And they held the election and still had the election parades, you know what I mean? The meetings to get their fan bases out and pump them up in order to go to the voting polls. But yet still you're saying because of the pandemic, the entertainment industry has to be closed. So no parties, none of that, but you're the biggest part. That's the biggest spreading environment you could ever create. You know what I mean? You're talking about millions of people gathering and trying to get the vote. And it's not people like out in the world where they're strict with social distance. It wasn't like that. It was just one big political party going on in Jamaica at the time. And we kind of see what the government is really doing. They kind of they kind of forget about the entertainment industry. Majority of us who tour internationally for a living might be able to survive that. But
Right.
you have so many artists and so many people that's in that dancehall community. If you understand dancehall, it's not just the artist or the disc jockey. You have the weed man, the man that sells the weed. You have the lady that sells the gum and the gum, the candies in the parties. You have the flyer girls, you know what I mean? You have the promotional girls. You have the flyer males, you know what I mean? You have the suit man, the jerk chicken man that rely on this environment every single night. Because in Jamaica, it's not just a regular party, it's a culture. And these people go there every night to send their kids to school and to put food on their table, and for the government to kind of just say, you know what, close it down without even considering the lives that are being affected. It's not just artists. It's so many people that play their role to make dancehall and reggae music what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way until you just explained and broke down the whole economy of the dancehall culture and how many moving parts there are into it. So, in
Crazy
New York,
parts.
yeah, in New York, they have at least, a lot of people complain, like the restaurants and things, they complained about the lockdowns. Jamaica didn't at least make an alternative, like some type of limited capacity.
No form of limited capacity.
No.
They did that with restaurants. They did that with every other industry, the tourism industry also. But for entertainment industry, boom. And that's the problem. And our industry is what the government of Jamaica used. The Prime Minister used the artists to promote himself and the whole culture to promote himself to win the election. Then he turned his back. You know what I mean? And we kind of called him out on it and let him know how we felt about that. It's not just about can't being able to go and perform, because for myself, I can speak for myself and most of the international artists from Jamaica. Majority of us only perform in Jamaica probably once or twice per year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we rely on going overseas to perform. So I'm not just talking about myself here. I'm talking about the whole industry, 360. You have so many other people, so many moving parts within this nice little puzzle that saves so much of us from the inner cities and the ghettos. And it's like they weren't taken in consideration before they make certain moves. I probably knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? I don't even put that past, because you have so many people that feed their family from just this industry. It's the reason why everyone out in the world know about Jamaican jerk chicken. It's from the same dance hall. Every dance hall party you go, you see the guy outside with the jerk chicken, and they're there every night. The person that sells the soup, whenever you get drunk or you get a little bit intoxicated, you get a cup of soup. That lady is there every night. We know these people by their names since I just got into the business, you know what I mean? And to see how they treat just that level is like they're telling you to go and scam. You know what I mean? And these people are trying to make a innocent living, and they have been doing that for years. But to them, it doesn't push the needle on the budget side, because majority of these people probably don't pay as much tax as the tourism industry. So they don't consider it as much. But what they fail to understand that when you neglect this side of the industry, if you want to solve crime, this is where crimes is started. Because these kids that are coming up that don't have no food at night, their mom used to go on the street and hustle in the dance hall or the reggae parties, and their mom and their dads can't do that. Now they have to turn to something else, and we don't want it.
It's so interesting when you break down the science of how that really affects just even the smallest person in the puzzle. I think that maybe a solution will come soon, because things are reopening. It's not just entertainment in Jamaica, it's entertainment internationally. Like there haven't been anything in New York either. So
nothing at all. It's just we're just starting to get back dates in New York and worldwide, you know what I mean? Which we appreciate it and we love it. It kind of, as I said before, it make you realize how fortunate you are. You know what I mean? How fortunate we are to just go out there and perform and put smile on people's face. And we haven't done that in a while. And we did our first performance last week, and it was in Bridgeport. And, and just the joy and my face backstage, just to be backstage, and you smell the card, like they brought me my microphone and my in-ear, and just to look on my in-ear that I have here. And this is my personal stuff, but to see it, I know that, okay, it's used, we're going to be able to use it tonight, you're going to be able to see the fans. And even though the pandemic is there, and we knew we weren't supposed to take photos, it's like you couldn't avoid it. You know what I mean? You had to kind of mingle with the fans a little bit, make sure I was masked up, make sure I wasn't holding on to anyone's hands, but at least just chill for a minute, take a photo, just to let them know how much we appreciate them. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people think you just do this for the money. You do music because music is what you love, and it allows a lot of us to live a certain lifestyle that we wouldn't be able to. You know what I mean? And we give thanks for that. But at the end of the day, 2020 showed us that when you take away something like that from us, from just going out there to perform, you realize how much you really just love performing, and not just perform, but because we could do a concert in the backyard, we could do a concert on the beach that went virtual, you know what I mean? But it's a different total setting when you're performing a song like Hero, Ghetto Story, and you see a fan crying. That's a total different vibe. So I think pandemic had it good and it bad, more bad than good, but we appreciate everything that we have learned from.
Well, it depends who you ask. But I see you rocking your Lawless brand. Tell the viewers about the brand, the origin, and what influenced you to launch it.
The whole idea of Lawless came from me not wanting to set. It's not about grabbing a bag or taking a purse or taking anything that doesn't belong to you or breaking any law of the land or any country. It's about not allowing anyone to put you in a box or box you in a corner. You know what I mean? The world is there for us to explore, and the Most High Almighty Jehovah made the world for all of us, not just one, not just two, not just the elite. You know what I mean? Right. Mankind created borders and boundaries just to put us in our places, basically for the financial gains. Exactly. And that's how I came up with the whole concept Lawless, by not allowing anyone at all to decide my destiny, or anyone around this destiny.
Okay, that's dope. I like it.
Thank you.
As a firstborn American who grew up in Flatbush, and I'm a music journalist, I make it my duty to make the connection between hip hop and reggae, because I feel like reggae is the mother genre of hip hop. There would be no hip hop without it. So I would never forget seeing Ghetto Story on 106 in Park on the countdown, like for weeks. I watched it all the time. And, it's different when you are of Caribbean influence and then, you have American friends. So you're just like, no, this song is for me. Like, this song was made for me.
Personal song.
Yeah. I want to know, like, what was the inspiration behind the song, the creative process, like, behind the song. Like, that song holds a special place in a lot of millennials' hearts.
Ghetto Story is very special to me. It's my life. Probably 85% of it is my personal life. The next 15% is what I've read, what I've seen just going on in and around us in Jamaica. I mean, growing up. The funny thing about Ghetto Story, just to hear you mention that just now, personalities to you, there's a story, short story. I met this kid from Cyprus, but he's from, I think it's Sierra Leone. African dude. He owns one of the biggest nightclubs in Cyprus right now, the biggest concert venues. And I was the first artist for him to book in his venue. And his reason was, Ghetto Story was the song that kept him alive coming across on the boat, because his country was going through a genocide at the time. And that at the time when the song just came out, that was one of the songs that he could relate to. So coming across on the boat to Europe, that was what was keeping him just in his ears. He wasn't listening to the waves, nothing at all. And we know that journey. We have seen that journey and those situations on the news daily. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't make it. And to him, when he started got himself situated in Cyprus and started building up himself and working and making a living, and decided he was going to go into the entertainment world. Make enough to basically got his own club. He said the first artist that he wanted to bring to Cyprus in his club was the man who performed Ghetto Story. So when he was even telling me his story, to me it was like, you know, you do music and you think that your story is the worst story. I mean, we grew up in Jamaica, we have it that it's the worst. And you realize that everyone has their own story. You know what I mean? And it's your story just the same. Right. So much of us, we live such similar lives and we don't even realize because the world seems so big, you know what I mean? But it's really not. All of us that come from lower class income communities, we face the same situations over and over and over again. And this has been going on before they took us from Africa. You know what I mean? And this kid, even the night I was performing, even though he's the promoter and he's our boss for the night, it was just a different vibe, just reasoning with it. Well, to him, I'm like his idol. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, we wrote this because of what we were going through. It's not like we were writing this thinking that it's someone else's world we're tapping into, you know what I mean? Or someone else's disadvantage. It's just one of them things that shows you how powerful music is. You know what I mean? And we can't take it for granted. Especially when you collaborate, because then when Alicia Keys hopped on the remix, I'm like, she was really eating white rice and honey? Like, how did you guys connect? Yo, Alicia is the greatest. Alicia is the greatest. Alicia is the humblest, the sweetest, the most talented. I all Alicia album from day one. And the producer, Dave Kelly, reached out to me one morning and said, I got Alicia on the track. I'm like, what do you mean, Alicia? Which Alicia? You know what I mean? Because that's, if you follow Alicia's career, at that time, she probably never had a collaboration with 5 persons, you know what I mean? Because she's very strategic in what she does and very picky. And when I went into the studio and heard the vocal and everything, I couldn't believe, you know what I mean? And for her to be so humble, for even, she's the one that basically said she wanted to shoot the video where I came from. You know what I mean? She didn't want to just do her part. She could have stuck out. She's a superstar. She could have said, you know what, I'm not leaving New York. I just want to do my thing in New York. That's it. And she was like, nope, we want to go where your story started. And we took her back to where I'm from, which is Sherlock Crescent, which is Ghetto of Kingston 20. And it was like a holiday in Kingston. Everyone came just to see her. I bet. Did you get to show her around? Repeat? Did you get to show her around? Yeah, we went all over. Went to Port Royal, went to the dance hall in the night, just to let her enjoy and see the whole vibe, you know what I mean? Authentic vibe. And we were there all evening because the shoot took 2 days. And it was based, it didn't feel like a video shoot. It felt like a fiesta. We were just chilling, enjoying, and the whole community, basically all of Kingston came out for both days. The avenue was blocked off. They had to have police. People just wanted to get a look at Alicia, you know what I mean? And we have to give her credit. A lot of people are genuine superstars. They are so humble with it, you know what I mean? And I would never ever forget that. Never ever forget that she took the time out to really say, you know what? I don't care what the label is saying. I want to do it in Jamaica. I don't care what the label is saying. I want to come and perform the song with you live on stage. And I want to do it not in front of just an international audience, but in front of a hardcore dancehall audience. And I will never ever forget that. Wait, was the label actually telling her not to do it? Or you're just thinking that? No, we heard stuff, you know what I mean? You kind of hear stuff like labels probably weren't pushing for her to come to Jamaica to shoot. And she's the one that said, nope, I want to do it in Jamaica. I'm not gonna do my part here. Because if you notice, even the Sean Paul, Beyonce, they weren't in the same spaces together. They never performed it together. So you realize that there's a lot of politics in the music industry, and she kind of broke down all those politics when it came to our collaboration. Okay. Another one of my favorite hip hop collaborations from you is Tables Will Turn by Foxy Brown. You know, I'm from Brooklyn. That one was it for us. How was it working with her on set of the video? Yo, with Inga, if you know it's a call her Inga, it's not Foxy. You have to, that's Inga right now. That's my sister. That's my sister, like real. You know what I mean? Me and Inga, share a relationship as far back as 1999. So when we were working in the studio, we were already good friends. She was already flying, coming to Jamaica just to chill with us. We would, whenever I'm in New York, she would make sure that she take care of us. And she kind of reached out just from a Caribbean background point of view at the time, just to show love to our culture. You know what I mean? And I would never ever forget. So in the studio tonight, I remember that record. We wrote it on the plane coming from London. Myself and Dave Kelly, he was making the beat on the plane, and I was writing my verse at the time. We land in New York and went straight to the studio. No, straight from London. And we knocked out the record probably in probably 2 hours. That's how quick it was. 2 hours. But the hook was different. The hook was, I think the chorus was, in every little thing that you do, remember that the keys to be true. In every little thing that you say, will make you stronger every day. Never let them get into your mind. Everything is only for a time. That was the original chorus.
Wow.
But the musical greatness of who Foxy is, and a lot of people don't understand the level of where Foxy Brown is. She was like, yo, everything else is perfect, but that hook is not going to cut it. I need a hook that's going to let people remember this. People need to hear this and know that this is the Caribbean connection. Bad girl from Brooklyn, Trinidadian background with rude boy from the yard. You know, that's Inga. That's just her. That whole Caribbean fusion she started. You know what I mean? All of them came after Inga and took it to the next level where they're supposed to take it. But that connection, Inga is the one that paved the way for that Caribbean connection with the hip hop world. You know what I mean? And we have to give credit to Inga. So she's the one that basically changed the chorus to "What a day when the tables will turn."
And I love that part.
Fire. Up to the day, that song is still in my set every day, every concert. No concert at all can go without those songs. Those songs are songs that sold millions, songs that basically broke down the barriers, you know what I mean? And took dancehall in at that time. Before that, a lot of people didn't really know me personally. They're talking about old soul America. So Foxy Brown was responsible for taking me into old soul America. You know what I mean? So big up to Inga Marchand. Mwah. Love you loads.
We'll probably hear some stories about you when she drops her memoir in December.
Yo,
she has some.
Yo, we're on the phone like probably once a week. Once a week on the phone, once a week, or probably texting every 3 days. Inga is a real sister, like real. No joke, you know what I mean? Real family.
Yeah, I know her connection in Jamaica is really heavy, and she's always put on. I've heard like back in the day, she tried to get Def Jam to do like another subdivision solely for reggae, but they just didn't believe in it at the time.
Yo, Foxy been fighting for that. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to release Tables Turn as a single. They weren't feeling Tables Turn as a single, you know what I mean? And I think at the time they were more looking towards the bigger names, you know what I mean? Probably if it was 3 years after when like the name Baby Cham kind of burst onto the scene, they would have, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But at the time we were really the underground kings of dance before the international success. So you have Babylon Boy, Give Them the Dance. Those songs were really mashing up dancehall space, and that's what kind of drew her towards me. And she was fighting with Def Jam for years just to get like some form of conglomerate, so she could basically be the ambassador to reggae and dancehall space, like sign artists and promote records to help just the whole dancehall circle and the whole reggae space. So everything that we achieve, she's one of them that is a behind the scene pioneer, you know what I mean, for dancehall and reggae music. And a lot of people don't know that. So Inga Marchand, Foxy Brown, I want to say thank you for representing dancehall and reggae music on the international level. You know what I mean? And as a superstar that you are, we salute you. Thank you.
Bop. So I love your collaborations that you do with females. I'm drawn to male artists who can fuse the R&B sound or collaborate well with females. And can your fans expect another collaboration with you and your child's mother, O? Because Turn Up was another classic. And part 2 would definitely be good for the streets.
Yeah.
Lord,
Well, I'm one of them those that will always love us collaborating with the females.
Oh, as soon as I asked about your child's mother, the connection went off. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm always connected with the females. I have an all-female band. That's for one. And that's the first dancehall and reggae all-female band. And the next one is with it wasn't something that was planned. If you notice, we did Wine together first. Wine up my body, me a wine up my body.
Oh, yeah.
And no, she wasn't even titled on that song, or it was just Cham by himself. But then people started asking, who is the female? You know what I mean? And then we decided we were going to do a follow-up, and that's how we kind of figured out what you want to call herself. She was the one that said she wanted to call herself O. And we kind of target the type of songs that we were writing at the time. So she would be the focus. You know what I mean? Like for the next project, hopefully, if she's loving it, because she don't like to perform, she don't like to, so it's not her thing, and that's why we haven't done more. Because those songs kind of blew up and got so huge, but then they were requesting tours, and she was like, "I'm not going if you're not going," and I can't be on every tour. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if she's feeling it and it's right, for sure we'll do something.
Well, you guys are low key a dynamic duo. I didn't realize that it was her on Wine.
Yeah, it's like everything we did went straight to classic. Everything we did. A lot of people didn't know that it was her on Wine either, because when it came out at first, we did it as a demo. We did it as a demo to send to a real artist. But then when we heard the demo, I'm like, yo, this is not no demo. You know what I mean? This can go out just as it is. And that's how we released it, and it went straight to #1 at the time. And everyone was just asking, who is the female on it? Because she have like a Sister Nancy sound, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And back in the days, dancehall artist, but with a modern flavor and a unique sound. And that's how we decided that, you know what, let's do more, you know what I mean? And she came into the game with a different sense of fashion style, and I think that kind of started the whole new trend for this new dancehall revolution with the females. Because before that, it was just ladies and spice, you know what I mean? Then after O came so many with even the her style, the dressing, everything. So we have to give it up. She did her thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But I want to build on a point that you brought up before, because I did an interview with Sean Paul recently, and I want to make sure that I'm wording this correctly because I don't want to bait anyone. But he basically said that, I asked him why did he think that artists like Vybz Kartel and Mavado struggle to cross over despite being so influential and impactful. And he basically said that artists like him, Shaggy, and Shabba Ranks set the standard for what crossover dancehall songs should be like. And on top of the visa cancellations, the content, the behaviors also played a part in the entire stagnation of the genre. What are your thoughts on that?
The question was why they're not as popular?
Or why weren't they able to cross over as successfully as, the artists before them? Because I wasn't in Jamaica at the time, but in Flatbush, we were involved in the Gaza Gully War as though we were in Jamaica. Like, I was Team Gaza. We were definitely claiming our sides, but it just not hit the mainstream market the way it used to in the early 2000s with Beanie Man and Elephant Man. We haven't seen that since then. What do you think is the reason for it?
I think you have different things that factors into that. I think one of the reasons Kartel was kind of doing his song just targeting the dancehall, hardcore dancehall market. You know what I mean? And a lot of these songs that normally break big overseas normally target just music lovers on a whole. If you listen to songs like Was Me, you listen to songs like Vitamin S, there's something about it that allows people to sing and can relate to it. Like, want the vitamin S. There's something for them to relate to, you know what I mean? And something for them to sing. The same thing with Ghetto Story. So my earlier songs like Me and Them No Grounds Man, so me up for phones, man. I hear me no Babylon, boy. Those songs weren't really tapping into the international circuits like that. They were the biggest songs in the dance space until I kind of figured it out. I think probably 2000 went and did at 97 Summer Jam. At the time, Man and Man was on rotation on every major station throughout America at the time. Me and them no grounds, man. So we are for frowns, man. And after we came off stage, this white kid came to me and he was like, that man shit, I love it. I just don't know what you're saying, but man. I'm like, what? Then if he's saying he loves it and it's his favorite song, but he doesn't understand everything word for word, what if he really gets it? Because we know why people in the dancehall space were going crazy for those songs, because they got it. They understand every word, you know what I mean? So I think that's one of the main reasons. That's why we kind of started targeting just every opportunity we got to do, I got to do any form of collaboration, like with Foxy. If you notice, I'm DJing, I'm spitting in English, but you cannot hide my Jamaican accent. You know what I mean? If you listen, tell them a woman we are defend. Love to see the shorties in a Benz or a BM. How life you're living right. It's different from when you hear a hardcore baby shot. You know what I mean? Breaker, call the Undertaker. I'm using more English, more universal words. You know what I mean? So those songs, it's not coincidence why the caught on and went international. So that's one reason. That's just one factor. The next factor I think is Cartel couldn't travel for a long time. A long time. And right as he was really blowing up, he got in his problems with the law. So I think if Vybz Kartel was out and about, he would have made it. He would have had big international success. That's what I think. I think his law problems, his problems that he had with the law, kind of set him back a lot, because a lot of international artists were willing to work with him at the time, you know what I mean? And even now would love to do something. But because of his incarceration, he's not as flexible as a regular artist would be. You know what I mean? In terms of why more of us don't break on the international scene, I think the space on a whole, the genre on a whole, reggae and dancehall music, we don't have enough good managers. You know what I mean? We have a lot of talent, musical talents, but not enough good managers, people that really pull the right string. So for instance, Cham would get hot, really hot, and you are my manager. And you know you can pull 30 to 40,000 a night for a concert, you know what I mean? So you kind of just want to do just $30,000 to $40,000 concerts. You're not even interested in doing radio promos, radio tours, just stuff that promote the artist on a certain level. And it's not everyone that really manage an artist really look out for the artist's well-being. They're really just scraping for the time, just for the time when the artist is hot. They're not really looking out for the long term of the artist, the long term of the music, the longevity of the music. They're not looking out for what they can do for the whole genre. You know what I mean? How many doors they can open. They basically just want to open doors for themselves. Mm-hmm. The other factor I think is because we don't work together as much. You know what I mean? We don't work as a unit together. We don't work as a family. Like our industry, we need to be more family oriented. You know what I mean? We need to support each other. You know what I mean? You find that a Sean Paul or a Shaggy or a Junior Gang, these people should do tours together. You know what I mean? A Bounty Killer, Beanie Man, Baby Cham, they should do tours together. You don't see that in the dancehall space. It's just on the reggae space. It's one person who's flying to do his thing. I remember when one person gets hot, when he gets cold, then you have to build everything up back from the bottom. At least if we have 10 or 15 or 20 hot, if one or two gets cold, then we have 17. You know what I mean? So I think we need to work together as a unit and be more reggae and dancehall oriented, not just me. You know what I mean? Yeah, more team members are needed and more good managers, you know what I mean? Because at least good managers can actually talk to an artist, even if he's not buying into a free concert for a radio station. But tell him that, oh, if we do the free concert, they're going to guarantee us a certain amount of space. And if they give us a certain amount of spins, we probably can hit the billboard. You know what I mean? These are the things that we have to do to get Ghetto Story to where it went. We have to do that to get Tables Turned, the This Is Why I'm Hot, the Vitamin S, you know what I mean? All of these big records don't just come overnight. I've lived out of dollar van tour bus, not real tour buses. Before we could even afford a real tour bus, we used to tour it like a regular dollar van.
That's
how we wrap the dollar vans. Yeah, we would wrap it with like the album posters or the album artwork, and we'd hit the road, and it would be myself and the band members in. It's not just myself and the disc jockey, the band members. And you know, a dollar van is not huge.
No, you have to take out the seats.
yeah, and that's what it needs. It needs that. But a lot of these kids now, who is gonna really sit down and convince them to turn down 30,000 for the weekend to do promotion? You know what I mean? You have to kind of really explain to them what this promotion is doing. The 30,000 for the weekend probably can last you for this year. But if you do these promotional gigs and these promotional tours, then you'll have a touring career for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And I think we need more good managers in our space.
That's an interesting perspective. I never thought about that. But despite, you know, the factors that's holding the genre back, you can still feel the influence heavily. Like Zessa music now is a thing. If a hip hop artist,
because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It
is. It's crazy now. Zessa music, I like it. I can't lie. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the current state of dancehall, and who are some of your new favorite dancehall artists?
Well, I love the current state of dancehall right now. You find that you have a lot of young kids coming in the game, and they're putting their touch to it. You know what I mean? I think when I was just coming up, a lot of people used to criticize just the same and say we don't use enough hardcore lyrics in a few of the international songs. Like This Is Why I'm Hot, for instance. We would say, I got my click to the rear of me, punks live in fear of me, dudes on the block, but it's really English. And I kind of figured that out from the same instance I was telling you about, the incident that I ran into this fan at that 97 Summer Jam, and he was saying he couldn't understand me, but Man and Man was his song. You know what I mean? And I hear a lot of kids now coming up and they're fusing different sounds and fusing different beats, and they're rhyming different than the typical dancehall artists. And they get a lot of flack for it. For me, if they can just have more quality control, then they'll be in the right direction. But instead of criticizing them, more give them constructive ideas, you know what I mean, or constructive thoughts. Sit with them and reason with them, let them understand what it takes and what it's not just you're doing the music for. This is an industry that Shabba Ranks paved the way for me. Buju Banton paved the way for me. You know what I mean? Bounty Killer paved the way for me. Beanie Man paved the way for me. Lady Saw. You can name so many. Yellow Man, you know what I mean? Bob Marley, Garnet Silk. All of them paved the way and kind of hold the door, kept the door open and said, come on, take your time, get in. You know what I mean? And this is what I think the older artists have to do for these younger kids and guide them just to see it. As far who I'm listening now, I'm listening to so much of the younger youths now. I don't want to call just any name and then someone watch the interview and say, okay, you didn't call my name, you don't rate me, or you know what I mean?
All right, so just do one. Industry. Just do the one you're listening to the most.
I would have to say, Spice is like a sister of mine. So Spice for sure. I listen to Spice a lot. Coffee.
Yeah.
You have Skilly Bang. You have Alkaline.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, I don't want to.
I know the list.
I love all of them. I don't want to leave out anyone and they feel like they're being disrespected or are not looked at. But I listen to all of them. But as far as those are the names that's stood out right now. You know?
Okay, and what about for you? What new music can your fans expect from you, if any?
Well, we have Lockdown right now. We're working hard with Lockdown. Myself and the producer, Usain Bolt, fastest man ever. Transitioning the fastest into music also. Yeah, so we have Lockdown myself and Usain promoting that. We're kind of pushing everything we've done right now.
Wait, that's he's the producer?
Yeah, Usain is the one, he's the producer of the track. It's his beat.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I tell you, he moves and more, so we're here. So he's the producer of the track. He's the one, it's his project.
Nice.
The beat is called Clockwork, 9.58 seconds, and that's the world record. And that's why you call the beat Clockwork. What else? We have a few we're working on the project. So after lockdown, when we think we have done enough with lockdown, then we have a nice surprise. Can't say, but a nice surprise.
Okay, so I'll be on the lookout. Something special?
Something special.
Okay, I'll be on the lookout for it.